Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name's Inverted Joker and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about one of the most underrated, unglorified, yet most useful and important topics in the game, and that is drone usage and drone strategy. And I'm not only talking about when you're alive and you're driving your drone around. There is a bunch of ways to use drones in a way more strategic, tactical way than a lot of people generally do. So first, let's talk about prep phase. Let's say you have one teammate that has already found the objective or 110% knows where the objective is. There is absolutely no reason for any of their drones to go into the objective area. Sure, you can kinda roll by it to see what enemies or who and in rooms near the objective area, just to see what walls they're reinforcing and what they're setting up. But other than that, keep your drones up and don't go in there spotting everybody that you see, because your drone's gonna go down and that's one less drone that your team has to effectively win the game or the round. Generally, unless you're a bronze or a copper, it is 100% impossible to go into a game without having a roamer on the other team. You need at least one person on your team to leave their drone near a common roaming location or central location for a roamer to hang out at. So say you're playing on house, you'd obviously want one drone somewhere near the kitchen or the office. And if you do leave your drone in a central location that a roamer would be at the beginning of the round, they are going to run in front of your drone, oftentimes giving away their position before the preparation phase is even over. Now, if you do this in multiple different locations on the same map, on the same objective, then you already have a gigantic head start when it comes to clearing the building. And it's that much faster that your team can pinch the roamer and kill him, and you don't have to worry about that one or two roamers. Then your sole focus is taking over the objective and winning the round. One last thing to add to the preparation phase. If your drone has been already shot and your teammate has his drone sitting somewhere and there so happens to be enemies near that drone, do not spot on that drone. Last week when I played on sub week, I carried a lot of people in rank to higher ranks, and during this, I had a lot of people spotting on my drone or on other teammates' drones, therefore compromising that. They would kill the drone, and now we have no idea what the setup's looking like coming into the beginning of the round, and then you have to waste another drone just to figure out where the enemy team is setting up at or where their roamers are, and that will cost you a good 1 to 2 minutes as soon as the round starts without even firing one bullet. Now let's talk about early round. Let's say you have 3 drones on first floor of house, and you have confirmed that Bandit is in, let's say, the living room, and your team collapses on Bandit, 2 or 3 of you guys, which on a map like house especially, this would be 2 more expendable operators, let's just say Twitch and Ash. They kill Bandit. The next job would be to lay down drone and figure out, number 1, if there's any other roamers on that level, and then number 2, go down to the basement. Let's say they're in the basement, in the garage. Go down to the basement, check weight room, check the storage room off to the side, check behind the toolbox, check the laundry room, and then finally scan on through to the garage. And then one person out of the 2 that are more expendable operators needs to take their drone upstairs and clear the upstairs. This is making it a lot easier for Thermite and Thatcher, who need to do their job on that right side garage door. Certain things like people jumping outside on you, you running into Kapkan traps, running into frost traps, things like this should never happen, because if you have proper drone usage and you're strategic with your drone, you will see them a long time in advance, and at very most, these type of things should just slow you down a tiny bit. You shouldn't die over them, and you sure as hell shouldn't let them cause a problem, because you should know that they're there and know what to be looking for. So we've talked about early game, prep phase, and beginning around, drone usage. Let's talk about mid-game. Okay, so mid-game. Let's say that Ash and Twitch cleared out all the roamers on the top floor. Your Thermite, you get the garage door open, and the 2 teammates upstairs have already died from someone down in the basement shooting up at the stairs. It's down to you, Thermite, and you, Thatcher. One of the 2 of you needs to lay down somewhere and throw your drone out and ask the other teammate to cover them. Once droning in, you can call the area clear or not clear, figure out where that one person is, and while you're droning, you need to be communicating with the person that's covering you and watching the garage door where the people are, and if say they're behind the wall inside of weight room, and the wall isn't reinforced, you say 3, 2, 1 live mark, you live mark that person, and that helps your teammate out tremendously, and it gives him a free kill along with clearing that weight room. And in any circumstance, great communication should always be used while using drones. Which brings me on to my very next topic, and that's endgame. Let's say you are the very last person in your thermite and you're playing bomb. But this time you didn't get the garage door open because of an amazing bandit trick and one of your teammates didn't pick Thatcher or Twitch as they should have. You're now walking down the 3-story stairs from workshop down to laundry room. But you don't want to get flanked from the floor above, so what can you do? You can throw your drone up to the very top of the basement stairs, not the 3rd floor, but the top landing of the basement stairs with your drone facing the stairs until one of your teammates specifically tell one of them. So say I'm playing with Sir Megahawk, I'm going to say, hey Megahawk, watch this drone, make sure nobody flanks me. Because if you say, hey, can somebody watch this drone so nobody flanks me, everybody's going to assume that someone else is watching the drone, and you're going to get flanked because no one was actually watching the drone. That way, you don't have to worry about the flank, and you get a 1 to 2 second reaction time on the other person because you're expecting them to be there, and the other person, i.e. the enemy, may not even know that you're there, they're just trying to get a flank. Now let's imagine that there's 4 of you left, and one person has died. If person number 1 so happens to be Twitch, and she doesn't want to get flanked from a certain staircase, she throws down her drone and tells that first person that is dead to watch that drone. And this happens multiple times. You're the last one alive. If you have all of your dead teammates watching 4 different drones, you don't have to worry about getting hit from certain angles, and that opens them up to the possibility of calling certain locations out. That way you know where everyone is, and you're pretty much narrowing the game down to a 1 versus 1 versus a 1 versus 1 versus a 1 versus 1 versus a 1 versus 1 instead of a 1v4 or a 1v5, because that of course opens you up to killing the other team individually rather than running around hoping to God that you don't run into someone like a lot of people do in public lobbies, even in ranked lobbies. So we've covered early game, i.e. the prep phase, we've covered mid game, and we've covered end game droning and certain tactics to use with your drone. Now I'm going to give you guys a couple quick tips while you're using your drones. Tip number 1 is when in doubt, drone out. If you don't know what's around the corner, don't just run around the corner, throw your drone down and check the fucking corner. Tip number 2, let's say you roll your drone past an office or a storage closet and there's a person in there and they're laying down and they don't know your drone's there. Well then don't let them know it's there. If they don't know your drone's there, don't spot them. Walk closer to that closet, check your drone again, they don't know it's there still, walk closer to the closet, check your drone again, and then when you're finally in position where you can shoot through that closet and kill that person if it's not reinforced, then maybe you give it a spot. However, I would ask one of my teammates to get on my drone and spot for me. That way, there's no possibility of them turning around, shooting your drone, and then shooting you, or while you're droning and you're near that, they just pop out and shoot you because they hear you. Have a teammate hop on that drone really quick, 3, 2, 1, spot. They spot that person, and then you shoot that person and get the kill. Well guys, that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you stopped by. Thank you for, what are we at now, 3,700 subscribers, 3,600? Either way, thank you so much for the continued support. My name's WIN-invertedjokerr, and I'm signing out.
Operator standing. Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful.